A Quiet Place Day 1 has released its first trailer, coming in at 1 minute and 38 seconds long. And I don't believe John Krasinski is directing this one, who he was the one who helmed the first two films. And I believe in this one he's taking a back seat, like he's still producing and acting in it. But I don't believe he's directing this one. I'm gonna be honest, like I forgot this movie was even coming out. I remember hearing a little bit about it last year when it was in the development stage, and like announcements and cast list was coming out. But this film has been dead for like a good 5 6 months. Like I've heard nothing about this movie. Film completely went over the radar for me, like until tonight, when I looked on Twitter, saw a trailer was dropped. So I am curious to see what this movie has to offer, because I think a prequel to a really successful first film and to a really effective, um, you know, horror film that I've seen, in recent memory. Like the first Quiet Place really surprised me. It completely surpassed any expectations I had. It relied on sound design, and there was very little dialogue in it. Like, to make a film like that, it's challenging, and that's an accomplishment to be proud of. And then part two happened a few years later with Cillian Murphy, which I enjoyed part two. I enjoyed part two. Like, from memory, I didn't love it as much as part one. But do keep in mind here, that this is a series of films that I haven't seen in about 2 3 years. So maybe if I go back now and watch them, I might think part two is better than part one. So I think it all depends, at what day you catch me on that. My opinion will change on both of those films, and the opening scene of A Quiet Place Part Two, that was, I believe, a prequel. That was like day one of the monsters, coming on Earth. And the big question I've had throughout all these movies is, how did these monsters, come about? Like, are these, are they fucking aliens, or, just what are they? Where did they come from? Like, what exactly happened? And I think that's a question that's been, very secretive. And I think, you know, that's something that they can really dive in to here. And I think, they can do some interesting world building here. And I think this is a prequel that is necessary. Like, horror prequels, for the most part, I'm pretty generous with. Um, there's, there's some prequels I think are just unnecessary, especially when it comes to horror films and certain slashes. I don't think need a prequel. Um, so, I'm very hit or miss, with the prequel side of things. But I think this is a franchise that really leans itself really well to a prequel. And, this one's called Day One, so we're going back, even before the events of the first film. So, without further ado, people, let's go ahead and click play. So, same as last time with my Thanksgiving trailer reaction, I'm going to be watching the trailer. You guys are going to be seeing my reaction to the trailer. I haven't seen the trailer yet. I am excited. At the moment, my hype level is probably down lower than it should be, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe by the end of this trailer, my excitement could be, through the roof. This might be one of my most anticipated films of the year. So, we will see. So, yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and click play on A Quiet Place Day 1. Make sure volume is up. There we go. Day 472. Okay, so I I'd assume they are aliens because like it was like this asteroid that came from space there. Well, fuck yeah, there's a lot of these crazy motherfuckers out there. Okay, so one I liked that trailer. Um, you know, I like how with a different family this type of around, which gives the film, a fresh new perspective. I like that. I hated the music in the trailer, like the whole, bzzz, kind of sound that it had. Like it's so hard to mimic that shit. But that kind of that buzzing sound, like it was constant in the trailer. I hate that. Um, what else? There's some great shots in the trailer of the San Francisco bridge, collapsing and on fire, and you see, you see see the city, running away um, from all the monsters and all that. I do hope that we do kind of see a perspective from space, even if it's like a 5-10 minute, little scene where we actually see, the monsters before they come down to Earth. Like, what did send them down to Earth? I think that's a question I have after watching this trailer, is what did send them down? Because there's no way they would have just fallen from fucking gravity here, you know. So, I would kind of like to know exactly what sent them down. Other than that, it doesn't look like this movie, at least for me personally, this movie doesn't look like anything we have not seen, excuse me, in the first two films. This looks like the exact same movie as the first, just with a different family now. But, as far as like the story and all that, it looks the same. It looks like this family finds out, pretty fast that these monsters don't like sound. So I feel like, it's going to be similar to A Quiet Place Part 2, where the first act was like really great, and then the second act and the third act kind of felt very same and consistent. And I think that's really what this one is going to be here. But that's just judging off a 1 minute and 39-minute trailer. Like, the trailer did show almost nothing. Like, it showed enough, but I might have to watch that trailer a few more times for me to really form a opinion on this. Because I think as of now, I like what I see. I'm going to go see the movie. But, I just hope they do more with this day one concept. Because, I think, you know, as I said before, this world really leans itself really well to a prequel story and exploring all these questions that the first two films, built. So, I'm hoping we get explanations to everything, but we'll have to wait and see. So, anyways, yeah, that's my reaction to A Quiet Place, day one. I'm not a hater of the trailer by any means. There's some good looking shots. The movie looks like it will be a large scale film. I like how we're seeing it from a fresh new perspective. Like, there's a lot of elements in this trailer that I really like and I think will be really cool. There looks to be some really intense sequences in the movie, so I'm definitely going to be there day one.